transmitting live from the future.
Dear Fantasy Flight Trench, I hate you. Don't get me wrong, I understand you. I know that your job is to keep the bits of my game from jostling around as the box rocks back and forth in a boat or a truck or my very own grubby paws. And I appreciate that, Fantasy Flight Trench. I deeply, deeply appreciate that. But that doesn't change the fact that you become utterly, completely useless the moment I open that box. That I throw you away in a fit of rage every single time I get a new game. Now, I'm not asking for too much, Fantasy Flight Trench. I just want an inlay that keeps the bits of my game at least somewhat organized. I don't want to wade through a sea of small baggies every single time I want to get my game set up. Now, Fantasy Flight Trench, I know you're not the only lackluster inlay out there. In fact, many games have just some sort of a packing insert in the box, if that. But you, Fantasy Flight Trench, you can do better. I know that good or even decent inlays take time and money to make, but you, Fantasy Flight Trench, you have both, and you can't deny it. Not when your boxes are filled with gorgeous miniatures, beautiful artwork, and thick, voluptuous cardboard components. I mean, you go through all the trouble of printing the logo or the box art on yourself, making yourself look pretty, but then you provide us with nothing. To be honest with you, Fantasy Flight Trench, I'm probably making a big deal out of nothing. I mean, just because one of my favorite games has an inlay like you, doesn't mean I like that game any less. But I just love games, Fantasy Flight Trench. I love them because they just bring so much joy to my life and they bring me closer to my friends and my family. But on top of that, they're nice objects to have. They're beautiful, Fantasy Flight Trench. And when a good game has a good inlay, it just makes it that much nicer, that much prettier, that much easier to pick up and play, to share that joy with the world. I don't know. Maybe I'm not making any sense. And I guess that's alright. Either way, I hope there are no hard feelings. And if I never see you again, it will be far, far too soon. But I'm sure we will meet again. Please, do not forget the burning hatred that brims in my heart for you. Warm regards, DM Bigfoot.